Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel, but more importantly, welcome back to the first episode of my Madden 23 Next Gen franchise. And if you're wondering, yes, we will be taking the Chicago Bears. Now, this is not the kind of rebuild I usually do, but one that I am excited for. But more importantly, I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad to be back doing this. I took a year off, I understand, but I'm back now. I got settled into university. And so I have the extra time, or at least I hope I have the extra time. I'm going to make sure I plan my stuff around to do this. But let's get right into the video. This is going to be a no-edit video. This is going to be right off of what I was recording. And of course, the most important position, and the reason why I don't usually do this, Justin Fields. When I do my rebuilds, I usually like to pick a team that doesn't have a quarterback of the future, that doesn't have somebody that you can rely on long term. But Justin Fields is going to be something new for me, and I'm super excited. We saw through the stats, he's got so much potential. At the running back position, we do have David Montgomery. He's going to be a big part of the team. He's on his last year of his deal. How he performs will 100% dictate on whether or not we bring him back. Can he stay healthy? What kind of production are we going to get from him? We know what he was able to do in 2020. As you saw, he reached over that 2,000-yard limit. Also, quite decent in the passing game. He has shown flashes of being a decent pass catcher, but how he performs will be big in the long term for what we want to do at the running back position. At receiver, there's big holes here. We got Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, Dante Pettis, N'Keal Harry. When he's healthy, I will give him a shot. I'm hoping that we can kind of develop him. I was big on him coming out of the draft, obviously, as a New England fan. Really did not pan out for us, but he's a good run blocker. Don't know how much that's going to impact his impact in the game in Madden. But this is a young receiving core with a couple guys that I'd like to give opportunities to, but this is definitely a position of need. Going through the season, we're going to have trouble finding that clear-cut number one. Is Darnell Mooney that guy? I really hope so. At tight end, Cole Kmet has shown flashes. Another young tight end, only 23 years old. A great pass catcher nonetheless. But can he be that star tight end we're looking for? As I'm quickly going through the offensive line, not a lot of standout guys, which is why I'm not really going to focus on it. We did put Alex Leatherwood, who was originally a right tackle, into that right guard. He's a solid run blocker. I just think he'll adapt better to the right guard position. He's got the size for it, but you can see the stats here. His pass game blocking leaves a lot to be desired. And the run block, that's where he's best. I need guards who can block the run, and he's going to be there for us. And of course, second-year player Tevin Jenkins. Can he be a big-time tackle for us? On the D-line, once again, we have no Khalil Mack. Do we have a standout defensive lineman? Travis Gibson is a young player. Robert Quinn is kind of that gap player. He's got that big contract. Can he create any productivity for us? We really hope so. At the linebackers position, once again, a position of need. We did sign Jalen Smith. Nicholas Morrow will be the guy for us, though. But we needed some depth. And of course, we know about the drama surrounding Roquan Smith. I will be there shortly. Here we go. Roquan Smith, we know the drama around him. He did request a trade at the start of the season. Whether he comes back or not next year, you know what? We'll have to see how he performs. We'll have to see how things go. This is a guy who obviously wants to go to a competitive team. What kind of team are we going to be this season? Is this going to be a team that Roquan, by the end of the year, could change his mind? That's going to be a huge part that dictates what we want to do going on. At the cornerback position, Jalen Johnson, 23 years old, 82 overall. He has been one of those kind of bright spots within this defensive back core. We did sign Desmond Trufant. I wanted to bring in another veteran guy with Young injured for, I think, the whole season. Having him play number 2. And of course, we got a young rookie like Kyler Gordon. Can he develop? Can he be a great cornerback? Now, athletically, he's probably not the kind of guy you would think about. But I really hope he develops properly. I think he can be a big 1-2 punch with Jalen Johnson, whether or not he's going to get the XP. Or, more importantly, for the way I like to run my franchises, it goes by their effect on the field, right? I want to see performance. When I think you're user in games, I don't necessarily think it's all about the overall. And that's going to be a big thing for us, that I'm not necessarily going to be interested in just signing the best players or drafting the best guys. I need guys who are going to be able to perform within the system that I have planned out. At free safety, Eddie Jackson, a veteran, a Pro Bowler. This is a great guy to have in the back end, a guy that I can rely on, and a team that, doesn't have a lot of stars. Eddie Jackson is going to be one of them for us. And of course, rookie Jaquan Brisker. How will he develop? How will he perform? This is something I am interested in. Has decent zone coverage. The speed is okay for a strong safety. He's a hard hitter, though. He's definitely going to get some looks in the box as a hybrid linebacker, but I also want to see if we can develop him in the back end. Eddie Jackson is getting pretty old. How long does he have left within our contract? Do we sign him back when his contract is done? Where will he be overall-wise? That's going to be important. At the kicker, of course, Cairo Santos and Trenton Gill. But another thing here, the picks. What are we working with? This is a team that needs a lot of work, a lot of youth, and a lot of young prospects. We have our first, our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth without our sixth. And then for the 2024 draft, we have all our original picks. If we're not performing very well, some veterans might be on their way out as we look to stack up our picks. Now, the next thing I want to go through is the XP sliders and gameplay sliders. We'll start off with the gameplay sliders. These are the Matt 10 and Mr. Hurricane sliders. I will be adjusting these as the season goes. But as of right now, I've done a couple tests. I think they're in a decent spot. The one thing I didn't like throughout my test, and I think I adjusted right off the bat here, is the QB accuracy at 50. I played a couple games against some mediocre quarterbacks who were just putting up some insane numbers on me, and that's, could be the defense, but I'm just going to drop it down from a 50 to a 46, and we're going to see where that goes. The injuries will go up to 25. I'm pretty sure the speed threshold goes down to 48, and it does. And as of right now, I'm not going to touch the penalties. I'm going to test it out a little bit more as the season goes. Like I said, this is all going to be trial and error. Any changes that we make could happen later on. The one thing I do here is turn off the intentional grounding until it is fixed. It is not representative of what intentional grounding is in the NFL, and therefore I will be turning it off until we get any signal or any sign of it being improved. The next thing I wanted to do here, and I'm actually not too sure, we might be going into the schedule portion, or I might save that to the next video. I'm not too sure just yet. But I think what we're going to go to is set up the season goal. Now, this is a big thing. What kind of team are we going to be? It doesn't really feel right putting us at the 3-game here, and you're going to see us right here, or at the 4-win goal. It just doesn't seem right. As a new head coach, you don't really come in, go talk to your GM, go talk to your owner and say, yeah, I'm expecting to get 4 wins. You want to get a little bit more excitement. Now, are we a playoff team? I don't think so. So for me to go ahead and say we're going to be a playoff team, put that playoff goal, it just doesn't make sense. But I think the medium ground here is going to be the 7-game win, and that's indeed what we go for. Now, here we are at the opening press conference. This is going to be a big one. This is about week 1, and we're going to get right into the game next week. That's going to be the goal for us. And they're asking us what's going to be our goal for the game plan for next week. And I'm telling them stifling defense. This offense has a lot of unknowns, a lot of players that we're not too sure about. So going in with the defense, we're hoping that they can make great plays. We're going to go stuff the run. We are going to be playing San Francisco week 1. We know what their game plan is under Shanahan. They like to run the rock. So I'm going to be prepared for that, or at least I hope so. Next up, we're going to go to the weekly strategy. I'm going to go through what our plan is. As you see here, I think we either do defend inside run or outside run. I think we settle for outside run. I think that was a decent choice with Earl Mitchell. And then blitz counter, 100%. This is a great front. They're going to bring pressure. We need to be able to stop that as much as we can. And that's going to be a part of our play calling as well. Running the ball, throwing the ball short, not always trying to stretch the field. Justin Fields has the mobility. Can we avoid some of that pass rush with his athletic ability? And then here we go for our impact players. We have Jaquan Brisker. We have Kyler Gordon. Those are 2 guys that I want to keep. Velus Jones, on the other hand, not the guy that I'm thinking is going to take that 3rd spot. I don't remember who I end up picking here. I do think I pick an offensive player, and I think it's Tevin that we end up picking. I'm going through the whole roster here as I'm trying to pick. Like I said, there's no cuts here. This is straight up how I recorded it, and I do believe we do Tevin Jenkins, and that's exactly what we do. And then we change our goal. I didn't think getting the quarterback 5 times was realistic, especially against a running team. So allow 2 or less pass touchdowns. I think that's something we can hopefully do. I think that's perhaps something we have the best chance for. Like I said, I'm expecting them to run the ball a lot. The next thing I want to do, of course, is a big portion of this training is the injuries that come along with it. Making sure that we don't have any starters missing next week. And offensively, we were pretty lucky. Defensively, I think we were lucky as well as we're going through the offensive one here. So there's no injuries going from the training, which is a great start. You want to start off week one on the right foot, and perhaps losing a starter to a weekly injury, just not ideal. Now, it's time for us to go and look at the lineup. Look at the depth chart. I've already set it down. You guys can see what we're going with. And here it is. Riley Reef, Cody Whitehair, Patrick, Alex Leatherwood, and Tevin Jenkins. We got Cole Kmet there at tight end. Darnell Mooney, David Montgomery, Justin Fields, Kari Blessingame, and then Byron Pringle and Dante Pettis. When N'Keal Harry does come back, he'll probably be getting some snaps. We're going to see what he's capable of doing. Like I said, there's so many questions around this offense that there's going to be a lot of trial and error, giving guys opportunities to go and make plays. That's what we're looking for. Defensively, Eddie Jackson, Roquan Smith, Nicholas Morrow, Adams, Jaquan Brisker, Desmond Trufant, Robert Quinn, Jones, Mike Pennell, Travis Gibson, and then Jalen Johnson. Not a lot of talent on this team when you look at abilities. Even Roquan doesn't have that superstar ability. So there's going to be a lot of, hoping for development games as we hope to improve these guys. Improving guys at normal is quite difficult, but we have some young guys and even some, guys who are entering their prime who could really benefit from getting a star development to really help us improve as the season goes on and long term, because as it stands right now, there is so much work that will be needed in the off season. I'm really hoping we can find a couple, diamonds in the rough within the team that we can carry into next year. Now I wanted to look at our scout, Sean Donovan, who's going to be focusing on wide receivers and cornerbacks, will be our national guy. Those are two positions that I think are of need, especially that wide receiver position. So Sean Donovan, you're going to get the whole entire country to begin looking and trying to find, hopefully, if Darnell Mooney or someone else doesn't develop into it, a new number one. Mark Butler is going to be our West scout doing safeties and tight ends, and I tried to match it up as much as possible with one needs, but two, the strengths of that region. Tight end, Cole Kmet, can he be a full-time tight end for us? That is yet to be seen. Central, Sandra Ramirez, middle linebacker and defensive tackle. Once again, we get a match on the middle linebacker, defensive tackle. That whole D-line needs work. Of course, with no Khalil Mack anymore, who's going to be creating that pressure for us? Is Robert Quinn enough to create that pressure? And the way I see it right now, we might be relying a lot on different types of hybrid blitzes, bringing in the linebackers, maybe the cornerbacks as well, to try and create pressure. Because as it stands right now, I'm not sure if our D-line front four can do that by themselves. Northeast, we have one star, Brian Axford, who's going to be focusing on the outside linebackers and offensive tackles. The perfect fit for this region. The tackle position is getting old other than our right tackle. We could find a new left tackle. And then we have Hayden Archer, the running back, interior offensive lineman. Of course, couldn't get a match everywhere. But halfback, like I said, David Montgomery on his last year. What is he going to be able to do for us this year? And is it going to be enough for us to bring it back? Can he stay healthy? Can he perform? A lot of questions surrounding this team, and why I'm so excited to get into the next episode where we're going to be focusing on the game. Now, this was a really short episode. Might be a little choppy. It might not be the cleanest. I'm okay with that. But I'm excited to get this undergoing. I've already recorded the first game. I'm going to be editing it probably as this one is uploading. But I'm glad you guys are here, and I hope you guys are ready for this series. I'm glad to be back, and see you guys soon.